Now we're going to talk basically about what we're going to be doing in knife cuts and the products we're going to be using and kind of how you should set your or get your station organized. Whether it be for class or for competition, you want to make sure that you keep your area organized and clean. Do not leave stacks of stuff sitting around. That's what they're looking for. My classes, I want to see a nice clean area, but the same for competitions. They're looking that you keep your areas tidy and neat. It's one for safety, but also so we're not getting a bunch of trash mixed up with our good finished product. Okay, so today we're going to be doing 5 or 6 different things. We're going to be doing a minced garlic. We're going to do a chiffonade of a leaf vegetable. We're going to do a bâtonnet, a julienne, and a fine julienne. We're going to do a small dice, a large dice. We're going to be doing a medium dice with our onion. The salt we need for our garlic, and I'll explain why in a minute. And then we're also going to mince some cilantro so you understand what mincing is. All right, remember that we talked in an earlier video basically about keeping your area nice and tidy and neat and easy to get to. So here I've got my discard pan ready to go. I've got my carrot with my parchment paper, and again I'm going to explain why we're using this here in just a second. I've got my peeler, so basically my tools that I'm going to be using are right here with me. Cutting boards underneath with the mat underneath ready to go. In a pan here off to the side, I've got my other products. If I have any other prep, that's what we got ready. And here off to the other side, I've got my ready to use pan set up so that whenever I get done with everything, I can just transfer it over there. So basically, we want to do this in steps. We have different products. We got potatoes and we got onions. We've got some garlic and we got carrots. We got to prep before we start the production part of it. So we don't want to do production and prep all at the same time. That's how we get stuff mixed up and end up causing issues about getting scrap into finished product, and we don't want that. So the first thing we want to do is basically prepare all of our products. So for instance, we want to peel our carrot. We take our carrot, peel it right on top of the parchment paper. Why do we use parchment paper? Why not directly on the cutting board? The reason why is because some of our carrots or potatoes, even though that we've washed them, can have different pathogens on them or dirt, residual dirt. And with that, that means I'm going to be dirtying up my cutting board if I'm doing it without the parchment paper. We learned this in FCCLA, and we actually got some kudo points the next years that we actually did this. And ProStar's the same thing. They actually gave you a lot of good sanitation kudos when they saw you doing this. So now I've got the last bit of the potato done. I've got all my prep as far as peeling done. So now I can basically just take my entire parchment paper, roll it up into a ball, and put it in the discard. Now some places will take and use this for a vegetable stock. That's up to the chef. If he tells you to save this for him, then you do not want to put the potato peel in there. So just know what the expectations of your establishment that you're working in, and if they want to save the vegetable scraps as far as the peel and all, make sure you understand what they're supposed to save and keep it in a separate discard bucket. Onions. An onion, the reason you cry with an onion is because you got a dull knife. So the onion, It's a round object. We want to be careful when we're getting ready to process it. We want to try to make sure we get it as close to a flat surface as we can. Take your knife, put a tip on the board, wrap your hand around the onion to keep it stable, and cut directly into the onion, directly in half. Now, the one thing we want to make sure of, that we're going from stem to root, not across the other way. Stem to root, and then you get two halves. Now we have a flat surface to work with. I'm going to take our knife, I'm going to slide it into one side, cut the stem off, cut the root off, same on the other side, stem and root. Then we can take our paring knife, find that outside layer of onion skin, peel it off. If you didn't get all of it off, go to the next layer, peel it off. So there's your finished product that will go on your sheet pan. Notice how the board, with the exception of what I'm working on, the board is clean. We do not have any scrap or anything else on it. That's the way we want it. Again, a finished onion over onto the prepared product. Next will be our garlic. This is a clove or a head of garlic. A clove is an individual piece, so if your recipe calls for a clove of garlic minced, this would be a clove. This is a head. The easiest way to skin the garlic, take and place it flat on the surface, take your knife, hold it sideways, give it a good pop. The skin will come right off. So now I've got a prepared clove of garlic. And our last preparation is our leaf vegetable. You will need the paring knife for this. Now this includes spinach, chard if you're doing chard, basically any leaf vegetable. Now basil you will not have to do this next step for, but you want your leaves to be nice and big. Spinach you can do this for too. If you've got a real heavy vein in it, you'll need to cut it out like I'm doing with this. This is actually collard greens. So we're going to go through and we're just going to take out that center vein in here, basically the stem vein, and then we're going to put that over into our completed product. If your vein is not real thick or hard, you don't have to cut this out. So like again on basil, you don't have to do this step. But if you get into greens like chard or the collard greens, things like that, then you want to make sure that you pull the thing out. Romaine lettuce would be another good idea if you're going to chiffon out a romaine lettuce leaf. So now we have all of our prepared product ready to go. So now we can start our cuts. This would be your discard pile, and this would go directly into your trash can.